The doctors told her it was stress, then they told her it was depression. She knew it was possibly a little bit of both, but it was also more than either. She felt so frustrated and she was terrified that this was going to be her life forever. The Fatigue to Flow podcast offers a deep, transformative approach to healing burnout and chronic fatigue, going beyond surface level fixes like stress management or supplements. We explore the real roots, nervous system imbalance, harmful psychological patterns, and the mind-body connection. Chronic fatigue isn't just a condition, it's an opportunity for awakening to your greatest self. Each episode blends personal experience with practical tools. If you're ready for lasting vitality, joy, and flow, this episode is for you. Do you know this person? As a child, she always felt different. She felt like others could understand things that just really didn't make sense to her. Yet she also seemed to just simply know things that other people had no idea about. She also felt things that other people just didn't seem to feel. These feelings were often so big that they felt like they might just explode out of her or cause her to fall apart. And instead of acknowledgement and support, she was often told to pick up her bottom lip or was sent to her room when these big feelings burst unrestrained from her. Yet, strangely, she also felt the most alive when this anger pushed through, but quickly learned that it just wasn't okay. No matter how much she tried to understand the rules and how hard she relentlessly strived to do everything well and to be just right, she felt like she was different. She did not quite belong and she was not enough. Strangely, another part of her actually didn't want to fit in and be enough. That part of her could feel how she died a little bit every time she tried to fit herself into one of the boxes. And this part of her could taste the value of the freedom, despite this freedom or being untamed having such a high risk to it. This desire to fit in while resisting being boxed in is just one of the contradictions that she lived. She lived many other contradictions too, like deeply valuing close connections but not trusting people. With a very thin skin and a big heart, it was better just to keep people at arm's length despite craving attention and connection. She carried an intensity of energy and was never still, but she was always very tired or more tired than her friends, and restorative downtime was a non-negotiable, but one that she constantly shirked because she didn't want to be seen as lazy and different. Her head never stopped, ever. She didn't stop worrying and thinking. The world just felt too much and too overwhelming. Yet, people were drawn to her because she provided a safe, calm place in her compassion and her empathy. On the surface, she looked calm, capable, responsible, clever, and generally a good girl, as many would say. Yet, underneath, she felt like a fraud. She felt she was never enough, never fitted in, and she was never meeting the standards that the world seemed to live by. In later years, to cope, she started drinking. It quietened the noise, it made her brave, it helped her to fit in and feel normal. She strictly watched what she ate to control her body as a very weak substitute for attempting to control her mind and her emotions. But she was deluding herself. She couldn't control anything, as her body appeared to fight back, to the point that she felt like she had cotton wool in between her ears and lived in a perpetual fog. Her limbs felt like she was wading through mud. Her foundations felt rockier and more unsteady than ever as dizziness became more frequent. Sleep evaded her despite that being all that her body wanted to do. She stopped feeling any joy. She couldn't push herself anymore, despite once having had an ironclad will. And her body no longer listened and could no longer be controlled. The doctors told her it was stress. Then they told her it was depression. She knew it was possibly a little bit of both, but it was also more than either. She felt so frustrated and she was terrified that this was going to be her life forever. Do you know this person? Can you relate? She was me. But I also see her in the many clients that come to me, exhausted, disconnected from life, desperate, powerless, and ashamed. This is the person who has usually given up after trying so many things that the doctors suggested or that the internet has suggested. But I like to remind this person that it's actually not the end. It's often the beginning of a whole new way of being. I encourage a reframe. Your body is not trying to stop or punish you. It's actually protecting you in the most clever, inherent way. You see, the autonomic nervous system has an incredible process for self-preservation. When there's been too much stress, too much trauma, too much overwhelm, the body experiences this as a threat. And it shuts down. The nervous system shuts down as a way to preserve the precious energy that remains and in order to be able to fight any further stresses that come along. It's also to avoid constant stimulation and activation, which is just incredibly depleting. All of this is happening while waiting for the all-clear signal to come again. Usually, this all-clear signal doesn't come because this isn't like a terrifying but limited experience like a car accident or running away from a fire. It is the chronic day-to-day experience of living that has been endured since childhood, until one final stressor, like the straw that broke the camel's back, tips the body over the edge into shutdown and self-preservation. Many people sadly stay in this freeze state for months to years. They also make it worse by trying various things to fix themselves, which are perceived as a threat to the nervous system. For instance, detoxes, more exercise, fasting, and even the relentless judgment of ourselves and our bodies. When all we know is pushing ourselves, fixing ourselves, and trying to be perfect and in control, it's no wonder that our nervous systems get stuck in self-preservation. For some of you, perhaps that's been years of debilitating fatigue. For others, perhaps you're on a roller coaster where at times you feel pretty functional, and then there are other times where you crash badly, but you never at any point seem to return to that normal energy that you once knew. There are those of you who are also probably just plain tired of living a disconnected, exhausted life of survival, hustle, and overwhelm, especially when you know that there's more out there that is possible, but you just don't know how to get there. Yes, there is more. So much more is possible. And if you choose to work with your body and learn how to signal safety to your body, no matter where you are right now, you can start to discover not just your old normal, because remember, that way of being is what got you to where you are now, but you can also discover a far more connected, nourished, and supported way of living. Your body isn't the enemy, but is trying to give you a gentle nudge towards transformation. This year, I want to support and empower as many people as I can. I want you to know that you're seen, that you're enough, and that you are far more powerful than you think you are right now. One very potent way to begin this journey with me is to join the Rooted Retreat that is happening in February for women only, where I'll support you to reset, to reconnect, to remember who you are underneath all of this, and to rise from this place, while also sharing some practical tools that you can take with you back into real life. Another way I can support you is through my Fatigue to Flow coaching. If you want to find out more about that, you could sign up for a jumpstart session. And this will help you to get clarity on where you are right now and how to go forward. You can also subscribe to this podcast to continue receiving episodes, or watch my videos on YouTube, and just continue to stay in the space where I can share tips and tools with you and help you to continue to feel supported and seen. All of these links can be found on my website, kerrymagnus.net. That's no www. And finally, yes, you are right. More is possible. Please don't give up hope. And more than that, you are worthy of receiving it. You are allowed to, and it is time. Take care.